It's Aisha with an I, and I'm gonna show you today how I made my song, The Alien Zoo. Here we have Glover. You can see here I have 4 scenes. I have a start/record/stop scene, which I have set to always active. This is so that I could rehearse my song over and over and over again. It doesn't matter where I am in the song, but hitting the left button will send me back to the beginning, and then hitting it again will play and record my song onto its own track. Let me show you how I have that set up. It basically records onto this record track, and I have the record button going here, yet, I have it so I don't hear it. And it basically just comes out of the master and records on a whole track so that I can go and then listen back to its own track. And for those who are more familiar with Ableton, you'll probably notice that, what is this funny business? How come there's a thing hanging out here and then this clip is deactivated? And then you have a final that looks like you merged both the record and the second guitar S. There's more, it got cut off. But, and you would be right, I did merge them into final because my guitar solo really sucked in my favorite performance of the song. The second time I did the guitar solo, it kind of sucked. I'll show you in a bit, but the guitar has a mind of its own, and if you grab it wrong, it'll make a dying toad sound. I worked with it for my recording, which is why I could pull it off just replacing it, because you really can't tell what's happening with the guitar as I'm rocking it. But when I recorded it for the 250th time, the guitar sounded super cool, and I really wanted to add that into the final piece. And then what I did is I just kind of glued them together onto their own track, and so this is my final audio. Back to Glover. I also have to set forwards because when I hit the record play, it's kind of like that go now song, and I know then I'm in position, ready. And if I were to face another way, I'll be ready in that position. That's why I like putting the set forwards on the same button as the record and play. And it's a toggle. That's why I can stop, start using all the same button. I also have the scene set to white. It's just an indicator for me to know where I am in Glover without having to look at Glover. So another scene I have set up is the VOX FX. This is basically just kind of like a hold, which is why it's on gate. So that way, when I hold it,
when I talk into the mic, I'm always singing in G sharp. This is a plugin called OVOX. I highly recommend it. There are many settings, like Fat Boy.
I'm a fat boy, yeah!
That's all that does. You can see it. It toggles on, and then you hear voice effects. That's why I've got my fists during the chorus in the video. I did try to add some hi-hats to my fists, but Glover doesn't pick up on really subtle movements, so I just left them off. Anyway, let's get to the verses. So during the verses of my performance, I basically have all these effects that are hooked up to different hands. I have everything in purple is my left hand, everything in a lighter purple is my right hand, and I've stuck to the puppet hand because it feels like you've got little knobs in the air, the same knobs you'd see a DJ or a producer at their deck using, but you can do them anywhere and in the air, but it's kind of cool to use a puppet hand for the knobs. Love is a good one just because it feels easy for me. It's a very clear signal. It looks interesting. It looks like alien hands. I tend to do the alien effects. So they're all hooked up to Turnado. All right, here, now you can hear it. This is the sci-fi radar. That's what's making the burr, 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 burr in the background. And we got deluxe. So we got more alienish noises in the other knob. And then this guy did kind of like it's like a build. So you actually hear me use that a couple times in the song. This one is a kind of got weird alien high-pitched-ish. I don't know, you can hear it. Sounds crazy. This is my Pro. I feel like this is what it'd sound like if an alien probed you. What's this one? This one has kind of like a anyway, and then I turned off the last two. They're both kind of like these stutterish effects. Didn't want to mess with it. I tried for a little while. But check this out. You can do a whole solo with just the effects. You just gotta move with the beat and do patterns in your movements. Point is, you can play for hours if you just set up like 8 effects on your hands and you just go. And I recommend Turnado for that because I had tried this with Ableton's effects by themselves and try and like create my own, which I did a decent job of. I've used them in previous songs, but Turnado is super great because it does like all of, like, you just want to have like a bag of goodies of effects that you know are going to be interesting. And that's what Turnado gives you. It's like over $100, but it's so worth it, and there might be deals. So I recommend it. And then it's like a lot of fun to just like switch in and out all these different effects. Like you can drag them and stuff. You can even exchange them. It's much easier to do it within here instead of in Glover if you want to switch which effects do what. Once it gets fun, then the practicing of the song doesn't feel like practicing anymore. Let's do the alien guitar. This is probably my favorite part of this entire song, if you can't tell, because I have like 3 guitar solos I put in. I got the effects to sound pretty good, but I got this guitar to sound pretty great, in my opinion. It gets stuck in my head when I'm like not doing anything related to this. So I feel like it's a pretty sick instrument, if you know what I mean. So we have a guitar toggle on and off, or it's a gate actually, because so what you have for the guitar is you have a love sign in the left hand, like you're holding the guitar by the neck, and then you've got your pick hand, which is the puppet hand. And when you hold both, it'll trigger the guitar to be on, and when you release, the guitar will turn off. So you literally just grab this thing out of the air to start playing it, which is pretty sick. The different ways that you manipulate the guitar will cause different effects to happen. You're guitaring, and then when you're done guitaring, what you can do is you can just release it into the heavens, and it like floats away, which is basically, it's the delay effect. So that it's turning up the delay on the entire track, and this is like a return track delay. So anyway, all of those little details aside, the point is your guitar floats away when you're done with it. So you have this epic ending where the delay gets faster, and then when you release, it fades into the distance. When you're strumming a real guitar, your hand's moving everywhere. On our alien guitar, we just need to hold still and angle it differently. And so when you angle it so your palm's up, the rhythm will vary, and that's an effect, again, in Turnado. I'll show you in a bit. And then if you aim palm down, you'll have like these little short strums. And so just by going back and forth, you get this variety of strumming of the guitar. The yaw is basically where you're twisted. So you'll get a, it'll pan back and forth if you like twist to your left, and if you twist to your right, it will make this wah-wah sound, which is why I put wah-wah in there. It's almost like this didgeridoo. So your alien guitar is like this electronic didgeridoo suddenly, which is sick, and that is why we call it the alien guitar. And that's everything the guitar does, but when you're moving, you really get it grooving, if you know what I mean. Let me demo. Okay, So guitar set on green. I also have the toggle set up, so I go basically just back and forth. My button's a bit busted, so it's not perfect every time, but that's okay. We can still get through it. All right, here's the guitar. You hold it, you trigger it. All right, so we're going. This is the guitar with nothing added. Here, let's take a look at what this MIDI looks like up close. This is what's happening. It's basically playing this guitar pattern over and over and over and over and over again with a guitar instrument. And then we're adding effects to it. And it goes the whole song with us bleeping it in and out. Does that make sense? See? There it is. There it is again. There it is again. Okay. Now we're gonna play the guitar. See, now I'm tilting my palm again. Now I got this very rhythm. Oh. Here's the walls. Now let's make it talk. Go back the other way. Oh, there it goes around the head. Let's release it. It's off. So that's the guitar. Here's how I set the scene switching, which is a little tricky. You gotta put it on Glover control, note on, channel 7, because that is what you have set in your preferences as channel 7, scene switch MIDI channel. And then this number tells it which scene you're going to go to. I do not know why scene 2 is FX verses. It just is, even though it's actually scene 3 from the top. No idea what's going on there. And then this one's scene 3, even though it's actually the 4th from top. No idea why that happens, but it works. So we don't question it if it works. Anyway, the other thing to keep in mind is, you can see here, I'm just like randomly triggering these like all the time. And I'm okay with that. I actually made this song specifically so that it was okay if I triggered effects on and off throughout the song by accident, because I didn't want to feel stiff and like I had to hit things precisely, but I wanted the freedom to know I could like ramp up, like when I'm like the alien zoo, like that's all improv, me being like, oh, I know that this is going to make this build happen. And then other than that, it feels like I'm kind of sprinkling seasonings here and there, knowing that if I use this hand, it's going to sound kind of like insect, like electric insect, the sound I'd call it. And if I do this, I'm like dabbling those like weird alien popping sounds. But then there are plenty of times where I'm not holding anything in my hands and the thing is just like going off with like brr, 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 which is like this, even though my hand's not like that at all. I don't know. See, right now my hand's open and it's saying Prana Mudra. This is not Prana Mudra. This is Prana Mudra. This is open hand. So you can see it says 68 on here because that's how many times I've been like, no, this is Prana Mudra. This is open hand, and I've like reset it. I don't know. I give up. It's better to just work with it, you know, than it is to fight it into being what I exactly would like it to do. It's not worth the headache. Just have fun. And that's what the song is about. I Shoot With the Night is out.